Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship, UK Chaplaincy, the publicity and media, and this afternoon we want to have a short chat, what we call behind the scenes interview. My name is Felix Otabo, and we've been doing all the behind the scenes interviews. But today we have a very special person whom I will introduce very soon to you, and we want to meet him and understand a few things about him. I mean, basically, he has been with us for a very long time, and for a few years ago, the call came that he should embark on the ministry to become a sofu, as we call it in Ghana. And so he's been to the training, and now he's finished the training, and he's now fully brought in as a sofu. So he went as brother, and now he's back as a sofu. And we want to meet up with him and have a short chat with him. I believe many people will still be wondering the band now we know. Yes. Now it was something else over there. So his name is now changed to Reverend Ben Twumasi. So Ben, thank you very much.
Thank you, Brother Felix. Thank you.
I hope you will not you forgive those of us who will still call you Ben.
You are welcome to. You are welcome to.
Right. So as you said, this is the first in the history, and we would like to have a short interview. We have always have as brothers and sisters until they said we're part of history. So in fact, within the Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship, this is the first time we are having our own person who is part and parcel of us, who has been trained and become a minister. Before then, all the ministers we have had have come from Ghana, or they have come here to study and then train as ministers. But this is the first time we have had our own as a minister. So, congratulations again.
Thank you.
Almighty God for seeing you. Just to ask you, how long was the training?
Right. Thank you very much, Brother Felix. It's an honor, and I think that for as you described, for me to be numbered as a pioneer in many great other opportunities that I believe will be coming. I thank God for it, and I thank you for the opportunity for us to chat behind the scenes. And yes, I think the training, the Methodist Church as the British Methodist Church, as we see it, the training for ministry is in kind of a few different pathways. Before you would go to training, it would have taken you about a year, where you would engage in a process of discernment, where the church would discern with you and see whether indeed God has called you into this ministry. And when the church has become convinced, and you are still convinced, it's two ways to face. When the church has discerned and they think, okay, it feels to the church that God has called you to this ministry, and then you are still convinced that indeed the call is on your life for you to be part of this ministry, then you are sent to college to study. And the study is ongoing. You have two areas for the study. You are trained in what we call formation. You are being formed as a minister. It's like going to a military school where the civilian in you gets taken out, and then you are trained to become. You are formed to become a military person. Similar to that kind of analogy, where you are formed so that you can become the minister that the church requires. Other side of it is for you to also undertake academic studies, which is ongoing. Methodist ministers are the mission. We want our ministers to learn. So twofold. And by God's grace, I started my studies I went to college in September 2013, and it took me 2 years to finish the formation. My academic side hasn't finished completely, but it's an ongoing process. So whilst I'm still ministering, I could continue with that.
So it means at the moment you can come out and be stationed, as we call it in Methodist. You can be given to a particular church, and then you begin the process of the ministry?
I have already been stationed. Maybe something a bit different from the way it works in Ghana context. Our commissioning, we don't do a commissioning service, but at college, a particular service is organized when you have finished, and the church acknowledges and acclaims you for what you have achieved, that you have fully been formed to go out. And then at our conference that follows, conference stations you to then go and minister. And yes, I have been stationed, and my welcome service has already been done. I have been put with the responsibility for 2 churches in north of London, Edgware Methodist Church and Queensbury Methodist Church.
Have you come across any Ghanaian those 2 churches?
Yes. Amazingly, the demography in the 2 churches are a bit different. One of the churches I have got predominantly white and middle class, going upper class kind of congregation. On the other side, the other congregation have got a lot of black membership, especially blacks from West of Africa. And that I have got a lot of Ghanaians. Maybe, I've not done the statistics, but maybe I could have maybe about 50% of that congregation being Ghanaian.
That's right, that's good. Just wonder, in having been part of the fellowship for a very long time, you must have had so much experience within the Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship. Is there anything that helped you during the course of your studies? Did you take anything from the fellowship that you think it helped in your ministry, in your training?
Yes, and I can say emphatically yes. God calls us as we are, and it's about where we have come from and all that we have been and engaged with. That's the church discerns and God uses to bring us into ministry. So all the experiences that I have shared whilst growing and fellowshipping with the Ghanaian fellowship have been part of everything that I am. And that was a big part. And I think it showed itself in our college that some of the things I have shared with the Ghanaian community and with the Ghanaian fellowship came out there. And so it's an emphatic yes that the fellowship has had huge influence on my life and a huge influence in what bringing me to the new role that I'm in.
Did you miss it at all? I mean, fair enough, all people not being part of us doing Sunday services, not playing the organ and all that. Did you miss all that?
Let's say yes and no. Obviously, you would have longed that you would still be at Central Hall every second Sunday, and with the enthusiasm and with the difference that we bring in worship, that you'll be part of it. Yes, I have not stopped doing that. Even my church experiences it. In my church of responsibility, yes, we are doing some of the praises we do from Ghanaian fellowship, and so that is coming across as well. Yes, there are occasions you miss it, but our occasions for the call that you have responded to. The challenge of the call is to be who you are at the place where you are, at the time where you are, and then allow God to use your gift and graces to engage with that particular context. So I am very happy where I am, and I'm very happy with the kind of ministry that I share in.
Just wondering, having had this experience, being the first, if you look within the fellowship, I mean, you know almost everyone, you know all the various local churches where the Ghanaians are. Can you see other potential candidates who might be, you think they could be good in the future to go through the same process like you?
Yes. Who was I? Where did I come from? I thought that if maybe 10, 12 years ago, if someone told me that I was going to go into ministry, probably I might have said no, I don't think so. Though my journey has been very long, I've always found a way of avoiding it. So I didn't think it was going to happen, but all of a sudden it happened. And it is just as I am. It is the same person, how many people haven't got the grace of God? And how many people are not doing so many things in church that the Lord can use to bring the gospel across and be ministers of the churches here? So I see great potentials. I think what probably is missing is the motivation and the desire to step up. If the nudge is there, people should step up. People should say, yes, I feel this way, and in which way can what I feel be tested out and be supported so that it can be transformed, it can be nurtured, it can be formed in such a way that it can come into ministry and begin to help. But there are many people in Ghanaian fellowship who can become ministers for the Methodist Church in Britain.
You just started your ministry in those two churches a few weeks ago. How have they received the congregations of those two churches?
Yes.
How have they received
I think before probably I get it wrong completely. In the way the system works, you are stationed to a circuit. So the circuit itself has got about 10 churches, and we have the circuit is Barnet and Queensbury Circuit. For short, B&Q. So yes, do it yourself, as I call it. Do it your DIY shop, B&Q. So Barnet and Queensbury Circuit stationed to that with responsibility for those two churches that I mentioned. But within the team, there are other ministers. There are 4 other ministers who work with me, and I have a superintendent and a supervisor who I work with at the moment. Yes, it has been a very warm welcome. It has been a very warm welcome. It was on the 1st of September. It was a Tuesday evening that a very rapturous service was organized to welcome me into the circuit. And since then, the people have been very friendly. They have been helping me to settle in. People are checking on me to see that I'm settling in okay. And I think that so far, so good.
I know many ministers who have strong passion for one thing or another. Some might be music, some might be children ministry, some might be outdoors, some might be disability, and so many other things. What will you be your main passion that you want to push it across?
My main passion is what God wants me to be. That is my passion. I am always thinking and discerning and reflecting and praying and seeking God's face in where He directs me to go. I can count on the experience. I can count on the places where I feel comfortable to be. Okay, I have done music in the past, as you might know. I've played organ, I've been a musical director, I've led choirs. Choir ministry is good. I've been a youth minister, and I've helped set up youth groups, and I've worked with young people from a teaching background as well. That is a good ministry for me. But then for me, it's not about the comfort. It's not about where I think I'm comfortable in being the best. Because even in the places where you are not of your best, God can use the gift you offer to create transformation, to bring great transformation in it. And from that, God helps you to learn and to develop as well. So I am very open, and I'm looking for dynamics in all my engagement, that wherever God opens an opportunity for me, that is what I will hold on, and that is what I will do.
Great. Now, just to finalize, you have been part of us all over the years, so you know all everything about the fellowship.
Yes.
Having been away for some more years, and back, I'm not saying you are not back with us, but at least you are still somehow going to be part and parcel of us.
Yes.
Looking from far, how do you see our fellowship Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship?
I think that the fellowship has already made a statement to British Conference. I can reflect back to about maybe 10 years ago, when this fellowship concept was being looked at closely, and the leadership of the Methodist Church Britain began to engage with the concept. And I can remember that I was a part of a conference where the Zimbabwean Fellowship and the Ghanaian Fellowship met together in Wales to see in which ways the church can employ the concept of fellowships, language fellowship groups, to actually enhance the mission and the gospel, the spread of the gospel within Methodist Church. And I think so far we have done very well. The Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship has done very, very well. because we have stuck to it and we have worked with it in such a way that our membership can affect whatever we are and whatever we share as Ghanaians and as Methodists can be felt within our local churches. So I think that the fellowship has done a great job. Yes, there's always room for improvement. Yes, the fellowship can do more. Yes, we can integrate more. Yes, we can integrate with the other fellowships so that together we can see how the minority groups and how the different languages that makes London the beautiful place it is, how cosmopolitan it is. That impact can be felt in the church, that we can connect, integrate well, and engage well with each other, and then together we can forge the mission forward. So I think we have done very well, and I praise Ghanaian Fellowship for it. After all, it can go in the records of Ghanaian Fellowship that we have also contributed a minister to the British Methodist Church. I remember some of the reports that have been presented in the past, catching statistics of how many of Ghanaians are stewards, are taking other roles in the different churches.
How many of that?
Thank you.
Now we have added.
I think now we have added to the list, and that now we have a minister, don't we?
That's great.
All thanks and praise to God.
Okay,
all
now,
thanks and praise to God.
finally, speak to us as members of the Ghanaian Fellowship. What word will you have for us? General members of the Fellowship. Any advice, suggestions, whatever you. Yes.
Thank you for that opportunity. Brothers and sisters, I bring you greetings, and I thank you all for the support you've given me and brought us this far. This is just the beginning. The sky is our limit. The Methodist Church admires, appreciates what we offer as a fellowship. Let us hold fast. I'll bring to focus what Paul told Timothy. We could be young in our fellowship. We could be only 13 years old, isn't it? From inauguration, as we speak today. Today was our 13th anniversary, isn't it? 13, we are teenagers. But Paul said to Timothy, don't let anybody belittle your youth, but be an example. Be an example in character. Be an example in good works. Be an example in life. Let us, Ghanaian Methodist Fellowship, let us eschew the things that disconnect us, and let us make ourselves an example that the church will appreciate, an example to spread the gospel, an example that we can bring the mission focus in line with what the whole connection, the whole Methodist Church in Britain is doing, so that together we can continue to express and to share in the kingdom of God.
Thank you very much, also for being.
Thank you, Brother Phyllis. Thank you for having me.
I hope all of us will stay here with you throughout the whole journey, and we'll keep praying for you.
Thank you, and God bless. God bless. Bye.
That's it. Yes, boss. Yeah.